Hello, my name is Matthew, and this is the Book of Matthew. Here's something I've been thinking about for a long time. Why does everything have to be political? Why? Literally everything can be turned into some kind of political plight for either the right wing or the left wing. I'm serious, like literally everything. Somehow or another, some conservatard or libturd can turn literally anything into something political. Like, okay, look at it. This is how I look at things. Both the left and the right wing, they have some good things. And that's why I take things from both sides. Take for example, and also when you look at this stuff shouldn't be political. But somehow we have to lump everything into either a left wing or a right wing thing. Like universal health care. This shouldn't be a political thing. Everybody deserves health care. And I had talked to somebody who works where my truck is leased to, and he's pretty high up, obviously higher up than me, and he agrees that everybody deserves health care. But his view on it, and he's a conservative, he's a far-right conservative, Trump supporter. His view on it is that if he wants to pay for even better care than what's offered, like through some type of universal health care system, then he should have the right to pay for that, even better care. And I agree with him. If you want to pay for it, be my guest. But since insurance companies, our healthcare system is all privatized, you can't have anything done without having some kind of insurance, and it's for profit, obviously. Insurance companies don't care about you. They don't care about any of us. And it not only like health insurers, but your auto insurance, any kind of insurance, they don't care about you. They care about their bottom line. That's why things like pre-existing conditions for some health insurers can get you not accepted to a healthcare plan, or if you've had one too many accidents with your auto insurance, or if you have like one or two, they could just kick you off. That's because they don't care. Nobody cares. It's all about everything being for profit. It's really disheartening to see people say, well, America, the United States is the greatest country on earth. I'm like, really? Well, there's a whole, the majority of the world gives away free stuff, I shouldn't say free, taxpayer funded, healthcare. Yeah, our neighbors to the north, they have universal healthcare. Taxpayers pay for it. Your taxes would pay for it if you live there, and it'd be the same way here. But a lot of these people who say America is the greatest country on the planet have never been anywhere else. I would say the majority of them. So anyway, I am a supporter of the Second Amendment. I really am. I am a gun guy. I was raised with guns. But I am not one of those, even when I was, at one point I was I was a conservative before the whole MAGA movement. So back in the day, I would have been one of those MAGA people, probably. But, I was a big time gun supporter, and I thought Obama was going to come for our guns. So every time there was a mass shooting, I went out and bought a new M4 style, or AR platform rifle, just because of the fear mongering, which I know, they're never gonna take, guns away. So I don't know why conservatives are so, you can pry them from our cold dead hands. It ain't gonna happen, okay? You people are stupid. I believe in our right to own firearms, but I don't believe that everybody should have one. I don't. I know a lot of people that have them that shouldn't. And the left-wing approach and the right-wing approach to gun violence it's either, the left wants to take all the guns away and the right wants everybody to have guns, and both sides are stupid because there's way too much nuance for it to be black or white. You can't do that. You have to look at things like our geography, where the United States is, because what liberals like to say is, well, look at Australia and look at the UK. They ban guns and they don't have the same problems that we do. Well, of course they don't. We have guns that come up from Mexico that comes from who knows where. They get brought over the border and then circulated. That's one of the problems we have. One of the problems we also have is what nobody likes to look at, the conservatives or the liberals. They don't like to look at the fact that there is gun violence that happens in our inner cities. Biker gangs, street gangs, and, mafia, family. Everybody has guns. And the left all they want to do is put more restrictions on the law-abiding citizens when they should be figuring out how to get rid of, or I should say, how to stop the people who shouldn't have them from having them. The idea of a national registry and universal background checks, they're not going to do anything for the problem of gun violence. And giving every man, woman, and child a gun, having the teachers carry guns in schools, this is a right-wing talking point. That's not going to work either. I don't know fully what the answer is, but I believe that conservatives and liberals should kind of come together and figure out a solution. Otherwise, we're going to have this same fighting. There's going to be both extremes trying to fight for superiority. And that's just not the way the world works. Let's see, what else? That is a left-wing or right-wing thing that let's see. I'm not a Christian. I'm an atheist, so I don't believe in the whole, putting God into, or I should say more Christianity, pushing for Christianity to be in schools and in government and put it in everybody's faces. I believe in all of our amendments. I'm kind of a constitutionalist. But, like, for example, the First Amendment says, you have the right to worship however you want, and the government can't tell you how to worship or stop you from worshiping or anything like that. It also says that the government cannot endorse any particular religion at all. It also gives us the right, if we don't want to worship anything, if we want to be atheists, that's fine too. We have that right as well. It's welcoming for all religions, Judaism, Islam, Buddhism, whatever, Satanism, Pastafarians. That one's kind of funny, okay? You gotta admit. You know, the flying spaghetti monster. Who wouldn't want to worship the noodly appendages of the flying spaghetti monster? You know, really. No, I'm just messing with you. Anyway, as an atheist, this is what's real, I find, not funny, haha, but funny as in strange. As an atheist, I will fight for anyone's right to worship however they want, because I know that if I was a Christian or a Jew or a Muslim or whatever, I wouldn't want the government or anybody else to trample on my ability to be able to worship however I want. But I know that Christians or other religions wouldn't fight for us atheists to not have to be forced to join a religion or worship a particular deity or whatever. You know, it's just one of those things in life where, you know. Anyways, so yeah, let's see what else. I believe in a woman's right to choose. That doesn't necessarily mean that I am like pro-abortion. You know, any of it. I believe that a woman deserves to be able to do whatever she wants when it comes to pregnancy. Although my stance on abortion, and there's a YouTuber that I follow. His name is Owen Morgan. He's got a great channel. He's an ex-Jehovah Witness, if I remember right. But he got to talking about the subject of abortion, and I kind of agree with what he says, even though he's kind of a far left guy. He is for a woman's right to choose, and if they want to choose abortion, then that should be their right. But at 24 weeks, which is the point where a fetus becomes viable, can live outside of the mother with maybe some assistance from, you know, maybe an incubator or whatever to finish up. Maybe we should have a different conversation about what to do. But most, the way I understand it is most pregnancies are terminated way before 24 weeks even comes up. So, very few of them are women who are using abortion as birth control. And that's a big misconception, a big right-wing talking point of women are having abortions up to the 9th month, and what they call it, partial birth abortions and stuff like that. Yeah, that's not happening, because after they're born, it would be murder to kill the child when it's outside the mother's womb. So yeah, I know that if the government started regulating what men's reproductive things, if they started saying like men are required to get vasectomies when they're like 11 or 12 or whatever, because vasectomies with the technology we have are reversible, or if we had to do something with our genitalia because the government said, or a religious group of people said that we need to do something, you better believe all of them right-wing guys would be like, government ain't gonna tell me what to do with my body. Well, women should have the same right. I don't care who you are, and I don't care what your opinion on it is. Everybody deserves the right to their own body, their own bodily autonomy. And I don't care if you like that stance or not. So, like I said, there's things that I take from both sides, but I can't identify as a liberal or a conservative. And I've probably told you guys that before, and I've told you my reasons as well. And I am not beneath voting for a Republican president, future Republican president, or even a Democratic one, if I feel that they hold, the values that I feel they should. And honestly, my brother told me the same thing. He, because he's kind of a right-wing guy. He's not a far right guy like Alex Jones, tinfoil hat wearing far right guy. But he had, if there was a Democratic president that he could identify with, he'd vote for him, as would I, or a right-wing or conservative Republican president. So I just think that everybody is turning everything political, and you can't have a conversation with anybody anymore without bringing politics into it. And then you wonder why, there's certain norms that are usually kind of followed, like there's just certain things you don't talk about in groups: politics, religion, and I don't remember what the other one is. So, but I'm just tired of everything being politicized. You can't have a conversation with most people because, especially if it was politics, because their political bias comes out. And most people, instead of listening to what you have to say, and they may look like they're listening to you, but they're trying to come back, they're kind of zoning out and trying to come back with a retort towards what you just said, as opposed to listening and trying to understand the other person. And that's why I just kind of keep to myself. I try to avoid talking to a lot of people. And I seem to be happier than most people because, liberals are always angry at conservatives, and conservatives are always angry at liberals. So yeah, anyways, just more thoughts and wondering why things have to be the way they are. Anyways, well, I thank you for listening, and y'all have a wonderful night.